Hello to all the spiritual warriors out there. I'm really excited to share that I've been taking a course to kind of get me honed in a little bit to be able to get all the books that I have inside on paper and get that goal. So in next year in 2022, can't believe we're already there. I will have my first book written. I have a couple of books that I started to write and stuff like that. But this one I'm actually really excited about. And the title is You Just Can't Make This Shit Up. It's a spiritual journey. It's the experiences that I've experienced ever since I was little, all the way up into the present moment. It also shares the spiritual journey, the awakening that we experience, how spirits are all around us. And sometimes it's like booming and like right in your face. Some of it, though, is really subtle, where you dismiss it and you don't actually, you second guess some of the things. And I'm going to share all of, not all, but a lot of my experiences that I've experienced, that some of them are really subtle. Some of them are where you're kind of like, was that a message? Was that a sign? If you just step in the faith and belief that it is a sign. It's also the journey of how getting the signs and the messages and being able to speak to our loved ones in a new way, in a new journey. So it's also a little bit of a light, profound, heartfelt journey of grief that I'm going to share all of my different experiences with all the different types of grief I've had. You name it, I've experienced it. There's not too many out there that I haven't. And it's not to say I've experienced more than others. It's just my journey, and that there's ways to work through it. I'm going to show you that some of the beliefs doesn't help you in the grief. It actually keeps you locked into it. I'm also going to share the stages of grief. And I know that there's a lot of people out there that say there's 5 or there's 7. I break them down a little bit more into 12 and split them up. But I'm really excited because on my book, that the title is You Can't Make This Shit Up, Messages from Spirit. And the overall core message of the book is love continues to flow through collateral beauty. And in any gut punch, in any trauma, in any heartbreaks, in any grief, as much as we don't think that there's blessings or a silver lining or there's beauty in those raw moments, there really is. And I'm going to share some of that where you can dig kind of deep and you can actually see the beauty in it. And one of the things is you have a choice. You can choose to allow those moments to redefine you into the best potential person that you can be, and be more loving and compassionate and really grab a hold of life by the balls and just go after it. Or you can choose to sit in it and feel guilty and sit in the regret and sit in the anger and stop living. And honestly, our loved ones want us to live. They are in a different energy and different place, and they made their choices. And one thing I know for sure is we choose the date that we're born, and we choose the moment that we decide to check out. And no one else is in control of that. We've been given free will, so each single person chooses. And I know that from experience, because I've also experienced almost dying. One really significant that really shifted my belief. And so I'm just really excited to share that this book, and in about 6 to 8 months, it should be in print. And I think we're going to throw a great big luncheon party, not for the sales or anything like that, just to celebrate that I have a goal and I'm embracing the journey and I'm sharing the stories. And if it just helps one person, then I'm more than happy. And if it doesn't help anybody, then it doesn't help anybody. I at least wrote it and put it out there. And I want people to know that some of these experiences, it's really cool. And you, like I said, you just can't make it up. There's just some things you can't explain, you can't understand, other than it's our loved ones trying to communicate with us. So I'll be letting you know a little bit more. I posted a small little snapshot of one of the chapters in the book. Don't cry over bananas. There's a whole funny story to that, and a lot of little lessons and principles and stuff that I've learned on the way. And if you have a goal, go after it. Because one thing that I have learned, and it was Les Brown that I heard him, I was actually honored to be able to be at a special leadership and got to see him in person and have a conversation with him. And it was really cool because on one of the nights that I got to listen to him and listen to Byron Nelson, a great leader in direct sales and marketing and stuff, and just a beautiful soul of a person. My grandmother actually had been taken to the hospital and they weren't sure if she'd make it. And my son and I were in the States and we got to listen to Les Brown. And he has said multiple times, every single person has been gifted gifts and talents and skills, and we all have a story in us, and we all have picked the things that we've experienced in our life. And I know that's going to ruffle some people's feathers, that they picked some of the horrible trauma or things like that. But we picked them because the human spirit doesn't know bad or good. There's no ego with the spirit. So you can't pick something based on if it's good or it's bad. You basically say, I want this experience. I want to learn compassion. Well, how do you learn compassion? You have to experience the opposite. If you want to learn how to love, then you have to learn what it's like not to be loved. You have to learn what it feels like to be in deep love. You have to experience what it feels like to have passion, what it feels like to be rejected, what it feels like to be abandoned. In order to give you those things to experience and learn, you have to experience the opposite. Anger and love, it's on the same frequency, energy based kind of thing. So he had explained that we were all given gifts, and he does this wonderful story. Look him up and he'll share it, where the person is on their deathbed and they didn't fulfill their goals and they didn't fulfill some of their dreams and they didn't follow their heart, and they stayed with the wrong partner, even though they just loved them. They were just enough. It was just good enough. No more. They craved and loved somebody else, or they were impassioned, they want passion and they didn't have it with this partner. You don't have to blow up the marriage and hate each other. If you want passion, go after it. Stay friends. Who said that you guys have to fight and tear everything apart? you have a business together. Who said you have to tear it apart? You don't have to. Reinvent it. Change things up. If you're in partnerships with different people, find out what you each love and implement that in the business. Who said that the business has to be a certain way? Or be really smart, like a lot of business people, and find people to replace you, and you work a short amount of time out of it and you still make a little bit of money off it and go after something else. Who said that we're done at a certain age to do stuff? So in this story, he shows that the dream person, or the guide, whatever you want to call it, showed up and said, in you, I could only have life with those dreams. You were the only one that had the power to give me life. And then, he explains how each person, the skills, the talents, the singing, the music, all of those things in you are around your bed, and they're all angry, and they're saying, you were gifted me, and the only way that I could live and breathe and have those experiences was with you. And now that you're taking your last breath, and you never took any of those moments, and you never chased after all of those things because you were so worried about what other people were thinking and saying, or thinking you're not good enough, or thinking I'm too old, that's a crock of shit. There is so many people at so many ages that have done stuff. I mean, right out the gate, Walmart was created by an older person, older than me. I'm pretty sure he was older than me, and I'm willing to embrace it. I'm like 52, turning 53, and I've just started doing stuff. What's great about when you're older, you have experience. You kind of don't give a shit anymore what people think. I mean, there would be a time that you wouldn't even catch me doing a video or talking or dancing in front of people. And there's a couple people out there that are going to watch this video, and I'm still not going to do karaoke. I just don't want to. I can't say never. That's not a challenge, because no, that's not on my top to-do list. I got a bunch of stuff to do. But there's it's a myth that you hit a certain age and you need to stop living. You hit a certain age and us ladies need to wear cat sweaters. No, ain't happening. I'm not wearing a cat sweater unless I really like it and it's full of glitter and sparkle. Maybe you'll get me in a cat sweater. Who said that we need to be at a certain age to do certain things? Bull crap. I'm telling you right now, if you want something and you desire it and it's in you, you were supposed to do it. And all the people around you that are telling you why you can't do it or not, they're hoping that you don't do it so they don't have to look in the mirror and justify why they're not doing it. And I'm telling you right now, I spent so many hours in long-term care with my grandmother and sat with the old people, which one, you'll learn a lot of wisdom and that sitting with older people. And I think right now in this whole time frame, there's so many people that are really missing out on all the older people and the conversations and the lessons and the principles that we can learn from them. And it is really sad. They do say that there is the top 5 of regrets. And when you sit with some older people and they say, I wish I went after the job or career that I really wanted. I wish I was a little bit more adventurous. I wish I traveled more. I wish I experienced more. I wish I was with that person that I really wanted to be with. And it's really sad that they're sitting there regretting. And some of them, not that they don't love the partner that they were with, they love the partner. They just really wish that they had went after that person. And they also know that if they're feeling that way, then their partner was feeling that way. Because I can tell you one thing. If you're not deeply in love with your partner, they're not deeply in love with you. It's an energy thing. It goes back and forth. So they're missing out and you're missing out. If you're not like fully in love with your career or your job or your environment, like, who's to say that you're supposed to sit there and not? And I listen to a lot of the old people with so many regrets. And at the end of the day, you're not going to sit there and wish that you had all of the houses, the cars, the stuff. The only thing, I can't take my books with me. I love my books and that, but I know at the end of the day, I can't take them with me. So one of the things that I did is I wanted people to be able to enjoy the books that I enjoyed. So I donated them to the Spirit Within in the library, only half, because I still love my books. And that would be one thing that I have a couple people in place that if anything ever happened to me, my books will go into a place like that so other people can enjoy them. But at the end of the day, I've cleaned out many family items, and unless they sat down with me and told me the story about the item, it really didn't mean much to me, other than it might have been theirs. So we can't take that with us. There's no U-Haul that follows the casket or the hearse. So I would say go after what you want. Don't stop. Start today. Even if it's one step, go live in the moment.